Okay, I'm going to do a short video on a new to me Yaesu FT-710. I've had this radio for about a week and definitely enjoying it. This is the radio I was using, the Yaesu G90. Fantastic radio. I mean, honestly, when I got this radio, I just got my ham license, got my technician license, and I bought this radio. And, based on a lot of reviews and the price, I was, new into ham radio, didn't know if I was going to, how much I was going to enjoy it. So I got this radio back in 2022 for, it was roughly $425 or whatever. This is a fantastic little radio. I've made contacts. My limit, that's 20 watts. I've made contacts up to right at 5,000 miles away. And I made multiple contacts like that. And I'm running a Wolf River Coles vertical antenna sitting on the ground. My backyard. Obviously not the best setup, but this is a wonderful little radio. It really is. My plan was, when I got the FT-710, was to sell this one. And I might still do that, but right now, I don't know. That's kind of on hold. We're going to see. I'm going to start doing some POTA. Obviously, this radio is compact enough to do POTA. It's definitely a lot heavier. This is about I think it's right at 10-pound radio. And this one is probably, gosh, I don't know what, 2 pounds maybe. So anyway, new FT-710. Wow, fantastic radio. Really, really enjoying it. I'm still getting used to it. I don't know everything about it. Not going to pretend that I do, but I'm going to show you some things that I do like about it. And right now, it's at night. I still have my technician license only, so I'm restricted to 10 meters. But it's currently at night, so we're on 40 meters. And so I was going to kind of walk you through some of the receiver stuff. I know there's a ton of videos out there. You've probably already seen them. But I'm going to kind of walk you through what I use to kind of filter out noise. So let me turn this up a little bit. So I'm running this radio. It came with the external speaker. It's the AESS. But I tell you what, I've got a little Ounce audio, it's a little Bluetooth speaker. I've got it direct connected though. And this sounds wonderful. Much better than the included Yaesu speaker. You can get this radio in the field version without the speaker for about $200 less than the AES version. Personally, if I was going to buy a new one, I wouldn't buy the AESS. I tell you what, this little Ounce speaker right here, and I'm probably a ton of other, little Bluetooth type speakers like this. It sounds wonderful. So anyway. I'll tell you what, I'm going to turn this off and I'll turn the volume up here. So this is just the internal speaker. And of course, right now I had a guy on here that was talking. Let me see if I can't find. So right now, this time of night, there's broadcast on 40 meters, but we'll see what we can. It sounds like a broadcast station. But anyway, we'll use it. So as you can see, I am running AGC in auto. I typically do that all the time, whereas on my Yaesu G90, I did not. I did not run it in auto. But this one I do. I keep it in auto all the time. I've got the attenuator on. Let me turn it off here. So you can see all the noise out here. The signal's coming in pretty good. Let's see, I've got the RF gain all the way down right now. So that S9 Plus, that's the signal coming in right now. I'm going to turn that down a little bit. So anyway, so that's the internal speaker. Let me turn this speaker back on.
And source.
And honestly, listen to this on YouTube. You're not going to be able to tell the quality difference. Definitely a quality difference. I get a lot more volume as well. So anyway, I like my little oom speaker. But I will go back here and I kind of show you some of the noise reduction things that I do. So for one thing, I will crank it back up so you can hear it a little bit. I will turn the attenuator, start with 6 dB. In fact, I'm going to go up to 12 dB. So I'm going to knock all that noise down in the background, even though I'm not really receiving it on this particular channel. Let me go ahead and hunt. I'd like to find a different broadcast station. Looks like everything I've got right now is broadcast stations. Let's see what that is. Let's try this one. Okay, that's a religious broadcast station. Let me get back down the band here. Oh, that's back to the same one. Well, looks like we're going to have to deal with a broadcast station. Okay, there it is. So this guy's coming in S9, S5 to S7. He kind of peaked at S9 right there. So anyway, like I said, I've got this particular time the attenuator at 12 dB. Don't normally run it there, but so DNR, enable DNR. You can notice the result there. I'll be quiet while I switch it off. And I'll switch it back on. See a little difference right there. Like I said, it's a pretty strong signal though. And I've got the algorithm is actually on. Oops, I'm still on the wattage. I'm going to turn that down because I might be keying the mic here. Okay, so let's go back to DNR. So DNR is on 1. A lot of times I'll run it on 4 and then I'll run it on 7. These are different algorithms. There's 1 through 15. The higher that you get, obviously, the more metallic-y or the more like if you're talking underwater. So leave it at 7 right now. I'm gonna toggle it on and off so you can kind of hear the difference. Now, this is a pretty strong signal. So that's DNR off and DNR on with an algorithm of 7. So definitely a big difference there. Another big thing I do is come over here to the filters. So I currently have my width at 20 or 3000. And you can see right here, 3000 is good. I can probably back it down to 2900 because it'd go up to 4000. But you can see the bandwidth that this guy is transmitting on. It's not 4000, and most people aren't. So I usually keep this 3000, 2900. So, and that makes a difference. I mean, you can tell. Make sure I didn't swift. I'm going to lock this because I think I hit that. So you just press power real quick and you'll lock it. That way if you hit this, it's not going to change the tuning. So anyway, let's go back up to the filters. So the width is 2900. Notch. Let's go to notch and turn it on. Got it 1500. I'm going to leave it right there, and I'm going to turn on contour as well. So I have contour as positive right now. And let's see. Let's move this up here. So you can see by the shape of the little icon here that it's actually amplifying, or it has gain, rather, contour gain. If it was inverted, then it would be attenuating. The notch filter is attenuating. the contour filter is actually has gain. So let's go back to the notch filter. I'm going to move this, and I'm using the scroll wheel on my mouse to move this. Let's just leave it right there. And I'm going to turn the DNR off. DNR back on. See here, big difference there. Then I'm going to toggle the notch, turn it off. And turn it on. So you get a different tone, but you get more clarity. And there again, you have to move this around to the area that you need to kind of filter out. And let's go to contour. Toggle it off. So it's kind of muddy right there with that notch filter on. And so I'll turn contour back on. I thought I had this in lock. Doggone it. It is in lock. But okay, so here I just discovered something. You could have it in lock, but if you hit the dial, the scope with your mouse, it still tunes. That's unfortunate. And I don't remember what frequency I was on. So we'll stay on the religious station here. So let me go back. We'll put contour back on. So that one's not set exactly where it probably needs to be on this one. So you just move this around till it clears up. And the same thing with the notch. Turn it off. So that's not bad right there with it off on this particular station. Let's go to notch. So the quality with a notch off versus notch on is definitely improved right here. So those filters make a big difference, and I really like those. Makes a huge difference. Now there again, if you're on 10 meter and I've got a lot of noise in, it makes a big difference here. Another thing is I pretty much leave my volume jacked up, and then I kind of adjust it with the RF gain. So as right now, so that's the RF gain all the way backed off, or all the way. Let's put it this way. So it's a little different on this radio than it is the old G90. So it's all the way clockwise, and so you notice I'm getting a true signal reading from that signal, S7 to S9. As I rotate the RF gain counterclockwise, you'll notice that once it'll come above that, now it's turning that gain up, or actually the gain down, really. So now the signal's gone. I'll back it off to where it's actually responding solely to the signal itself. Right there. Okay. I can turn it all the way clockwise. And if my attenuator, let's turn the attenuator off. So you can kind of hear that noise, and we'll do the same exercise again. Rotating the RF gain counterclockwise. Come back to where I can hear him. So right there is not too bad. It doesn't take much of a turn. So get it right there where I can hear him. Then I can crank the volume up, and it has that noise backed out. So, but primarily I'll try to leave the volume 3/4 the way up, and I will adjust with RF gain. And then if I need to on a station this strong, I might have to hit the volume a little bit. But yeah, so that RF gain it's definitely nice. It's definitely very nice. That is a super strong signal right here. I'll go ahead and cut the put the second attenuator on. So that sounds really good. The receive quality of this radio is fantastic. These filters are fantastic. All the functionality, which I'm not going to go through all the functionality. One thing that in most of the videos that I did watch about this radio, they were talking about the mouse control, and it's a Bluetooth mouse, just plug it into the USB, and it works right away. Most people had a dislike, saying that they could do a lot of stuff with the mouse, but they could not call up the main menu. They still had to push the function key. Well, that's not actually true. If you right click on the mouse, it pulls up the main function key. I'm not sure why a lot of other people didn't know that, and I just figured it out. You just you just try it out. But so I can do pretty much everything. Now, one thing that I can't do is RF power. Whatever is selected here. So if I go back to the main menu and say right now RF power is selected, if I change that to mic gain, just choose mic gain. So mic gain is pre-selected here. So it's pre-selected to be manipulated by the function knob. So if I turn the function knob now, you'll see I'm adjusting mic gain. Let me try to get on top of here and adjust. No, I can't do it. And if I adjust here and then roll the mouse, no, I still can't do it. So that's one thing that you have to use the knob for. Whatever is pre-selected here for adjustment, that adjustment must be done from here, which is not bad. I mean, because you're normally gonna have. I normally keep mine on power, and that way, if I want to adjust my power, it's just automatically there. I just go ahead and adjust it. But everything else that I found, I can do with the mouse. Some people were even reporting on their videos that you could not change frequency, and you can. So I can change band right here. Select it and scroll with my mouse. I can select here, scroll with my mouse. I can select here, and there you have to type it in. So you can do everything with your mouse. Definitely like that. Trying to think of any other things that I've watched in other videos which I found to be different, but I can't think of anything right now. The 3D scope, to me it's kind of a novelty. And there again, it looks, with all this noise, it looks crappy. Let's go back and clean that off. I guess it looks cool. I mean, to each his own. If you like it, you like it and you use it. I don't really, because the way that I tune into stations is I tune with my mouse. Let's turn the 3D off. And so I tune according to the waterfall. And so right now I keep mine on center. I'm playing around with fixed. I might start using fixed more often for a couple reasons, and I'll tell you in a second. But for right now, if I want to go to this station here, I just click. And I'm there, and I have to adjust, But I'm right there. And with that 3D waterfall, it's hard to pick. Go back on it. So see, it's a little harder. Let's get a little history going here on this waterfall. I don't know. Maybe it's not harder. With these strong signals, it's definitely not hard. When you have weaker signals that you're trying to click in on, I found it to be not as accurate. So I don't know. Just to each his own. I prefer just to use the old waterfall, which is nice. It's a great radio. It's just it's very nice. This morning I got up early, and then as soon as after I took a shower, I came in here, turned the radio on. It was about probably, 6 o'clock then. And I can tell you what time it was. It was 13:27 UTC. So it was about 6:30, I guess, or was it 7:30? Anyway, I came in here, turned the radio on, and made a contact with Russia, which was, I think he was right at he's 5,800 miles away, yeah. And there again, I'm running with this little Wolf River Coils vertical antenna sitting on my ground out here. And I'm living in a little neighborhood where these houses are literally 20 feet apart. And my backyard is 15 feet deep before I have a creek and woods, deep woods. And so it's not the ideal setup, but I tell you what, this thing really gets out, as well as the little Yaesu did too. But I couldn't break the 5,000 mile barrier with my little Yaesu. But this morning I did hit Russia, and then after that I hit Italy. Worked Italy yesterday. I worked Chile, Argentina, and they were giving me fantastic signal reports too. Now I've been playing with the mic setup. I have a new mic coming in. I ordered one of the W2ENY little stand mic. He's got two versions. He's got it's a little tiny. The base of it is about the size of your mouse. It looks like. But the little mic has been getting fantastic reviews. So for the money, I figured I would try it. So he has two versions. He has the original version, which has a maintain toggle switch for PTT. That's $30. And he has a newer version, which has a regular PDT. It's a push, and hold type button. That one's $40. I got the $30 version. So that's coming in, and I'll be setting it up. So right now, with the stock mic, as you probably saw, I'm running my mic gain, and this is let's go up here and go to ALC. So using the compression and then making some transmits at low power just to see how I'm putting out, and then also using the ALC meter here. I've got my mic gain has to be set up at 75. I don't talk that loud. I know that, but yeah, I'm just uncomfortable running a mic gain that high. But that's what it's saying. Now also, using the FFT side over here, making some transmit with it and watching that waveform has helped me kind of set it up as well. And there again, it's led me to the mic gain of 75, and I do have a processor at 50. I'm a little not used to the processor function. I don't know if I've got it set up, perfectly yet, but I'm running that at 50. Seems like I don't know. It just seems like it's higher than I would expect. So anyway, I've been getting fantastic signal reports back from everyone I'm talking to using the stock mic. But I'm anxious to try this other one. It's a lot more sensitive mic. And people that are setting it up on these FT-710s, they're typically running their mic gains at 20, 25. And I think a lot of them are not even running processor. They even got it turned off. So anyway, I'm anxious to do that. So love the radio. I mean, there's just a ton to love about this thing. There again, I'm restricted to 10 meters, so I haven't ventured off except to listen. Haven't talked on other bands, but I've talked a pretty good bit. I've had this radio for a little over a week now, and have definitely put in a lot of time with it, and really enjoying it. So also, including the video that I'm using LOG4OM, and I just set that up this week as well. And I love this package. Before this, I've tried a bunch of little logging programs. And just to step back, like I said, I got my license in 2022. I was active in it for several months with my little G90. I set up FT-8 and did it. And I got me a little handheld and was talking, 2 meters, 70 centimeters, and, hitting the repeaters and joining in all the nets and stuff. And then it just kind of died off. I just laid it down and didn't pick it back up until Hurricane Helene, and that kind of sparked me to kind of get back into it. This is really being underreported, but the real heroes initially for the people up in North Carolina, Eastern Tennessee, Western North Carolina, and South Carolina. you know, some of the big heroes are ham operators because these guys loaded up their radios, backpacks, scaled the mountains, went up top to these communities or in the hollers that were isolated, and they set up and they started making contacts. And there was a guy, I can't remember his call sign, but I think he was out of Greensboro, that he kind of started picking up some of these transmissions, and he eventually he essentially became, you know, by default the net administrator, and so they were orchestrating relief and rescue. Of course, the guys with the radios, you know, scaled the mountains and went to the local areas and stuff and set up, and they were able to transmit coordinates and status. Excuse me. It was just fantastic, and then it kind of clicked with me. I'm going like, wow. You know, it's more than a hobby. I know to most people it's a hobby. That's what I was looking at it as. But there's more to it if you want to do it. You know, and so I'm looking forward to kind of getting involved in the races, the area stuff. I don't know. So they did a fantastic job, and they played such a crucial role in getting people the attention that they needed in this during this disaster. So it was really good. It's really fantastic. So anyway, that kind of spurred me to get back on. Anyway, to get back, prior to that, I was using other software. Primarily, I kind of relied on QRZ for doing my logs and stuff. So recently, I got this log4OM set it up. Man, if you're not using this, try it. This is fantastic. This guy, give him credit. Let me go over here and switch this. So you can download the program for free. It's a free program. I highly recommend that you make a contribution to the guy, though. He does have a PayPal link on there because he has put in a lot of work on this program. If you're not familiar, this thing is so nice, and I'm not going to go through every aspect of it. But here's the main. This is the main default setup, our homepage rather. And so anyway, so you've got your areas. I don't know if you can see my mouse. You have your areas where you can log a call. And of course, if you got it hooked up, I've got it hooked up through CAT control using OmniRig, and so it's hooked to my radio. So if I change tuning on my radio, you can see that it's changing up here. And of course, you can. So if I pick up a guy, if I pick up a call sign on that channel, you know, I just log the call sign in. I'll just put in my call sign. And of course, it automatically, you know, looks it up off of, I think it pulls all this from QRZ. So I know the person's name. I know if I've ever, you know, worked him before. It's kind of weird because I've worked myself before on 10 meters. Or actually, I'm actually saying it's a new band. And then it shows the location, and of course, you know, it's showing my location. If it was somebody else, it would actually draw a line between your QTH and their QTH. So yeah, it's pretty cool. It really is. It works very good. So many features to this. That's nice. Those are so just logging calls. That's fantastic. If you get this, set it up for CAT control. It's very easy. I'm telling you. So it's so easy. And I'll show you real quick. Let me go back over here to the radio. And let's see if I remember exactly where this was. Yeah, so it's under, let me go back here. I did that kind of quick. So it's under operation settings. You click that, and it's under general, and you just tab down, and your Cat 1 rate. So you got Cat 1, you got Cat 2, Cat 3. So you can have up to 3 interfaces going. 38400 for your baud. The timeout is 10 milliseconds. That's default. Anything in yellow is default numbers here. Stop bit is 1. So set that up, and then come over here to your computer. You go to settings and you go to program configuration. And there's a ton of configuration here that you do. None of it's difficult. It's just setting up stuff. I'm not going to go through all this, but just, like say station information. You put in your call sign and whatever. It's got a weather, thing here. And so you can link your weather. I'm linking mine to, it's actually the Savannah Airport. It's actually Savannah Hunter Army Airfield, the weather station that I'm using. Anyway, you get the database that you set up for your calls. I'm using SQLite, and that comes with it. I mean, that's the available things that come with it. SQLite, you can use MySQL, or I didn't really realize you can use MariaDB. I've got MariaDB on this laptop, but anyway, I'm just using what came with it. So anyway, go back here into the CAT interface. Set it up. It's not much stuff to do. So you choose whether what you're gonna run here. Some people run Hamlig. I'm running OmniRig. Set it up for auto start, and that way, as soon as this program starts, it's running the CAT. And only other thing I've selected here is to send mode before frequency to the radio. And then you go to OmniRig, and what you do here is the only option to choose here is to disconnect CAT at first off event. And what that does is when you close the program, essentially, it's going to shut CAT down. So that's really all that's saying. And that's it there. Now, what you might be wondering is well, where did you set up your port configuration? And it took me a while to find this. I'm not kidding you. I'm looking everywhere for it. So let's go ahead and exit out of here. So back on the main screen, you've got these icons up here, and you do have tooltips. So that's start cluster, open cluster screen. I can show you this. The CW keyer, contest interface, band map, super cluster, which this is super cluster here. And lo and behold, right here, show CAT interface. Click on there, and there is your port setup. Now, my version, I just downloaded this, so it was a recent version. It did not have FT-710 available. Most people with FT-710 were using FTDX10, and that works fine for what I hear. But I did find, I was out searching, and I found it. I think I found it on Reddit somewhere, where this guy who wrote this program put a link to the custom FT-710 option here. Anyway, if you would like it, it's just a little bit of code. If you like it, you can email me. Go on QRZ, give me an email, and I'll email it back to you. Save you some time having to search the internet or whatever. But it's no big deal. You can use FTDX10. It works fine. But anyway, shows that. My particular port. Now, you do have to download the drivers from the Yaesu site. Just go to Yaesu FT-710 and go under the the files tab and scroll down till you get to USB drivers. Download them and install them. That's it. And so when I did, mine came up on my enhanced port. It comes with a standard port and an enhanced port, and my enhanced port came up as COM12. And then I set my baud rate to match the radio setup. 8 none and 1, 8 bits none 1, and then so I wasn't sure about the request to send and data terminal ready. So I did have to set up. Gosh, I can't remember where it was now. Anyway, there was a, in the drivers, I'm sorry. In the drivers, when you go set it up, you have to set it up to where you're doing, X on, X off or hardware handshake. And so I selected X on, X off. And as a result, I chose to use, request to send high and data terminal ready as low. And that works. That works perfect. And that's it. So bottom line, download the drivers from Yaesu. Install the drivers, set up your CAT on your radio, and then come to cancel here, and come to the this icon right here, show CAT interface, and set that up, and then go into the configuration under CAT interface. And there's just all you got to do is choose OmniRig is essentially all you have to do there, and then you're ready to go. So, and what does that give you? Gives you the CAT connection to your radio. So you get the tuning already. So as I tune, if I put in a signal, it's automatically putting in down here what the frequency is, receive and transmit. And if you're running a split, it'll do split as well. So it's just a super, super nice program. It really is. And I haven't discovered everything about it yet. But so right here, we have, recent QSOs. And so here's the guy in Russia I was telling you about I hit. But you can go back and look at EQ says, and I also have it set up through the settings and configuration. I have it set up to where it's automatically sending this to QRZ as well. And I just got my certificate for log file of the world, or logbook of the world rather, and I'm sending it to there as well. Even though I haven't really started using that yet, I haven't really learned logbook of the world yet. But I do have my certificate, and so I'm sending it there. So anyway, so you can do clusters, and it's got a clusters tab where you can see the clusters here. You can view it over here, and you can do, so I've got mine set up right now for 10 meters. And it can give you a beam heading, which essentially tells you where they're at. Or let's see, I can choose. And it's selecting the ones that are in that direction. So that's pretty cool. I mean, is that a bunch of hard coding? Probably not, but it's very nice ad, it really is. Okay, let's go, and then propagation. This is nice. I do use this. So you go into propagation, you've got graph, and you've got raw data. So the graph should populate here. Let's go 10 meters. And since 10 meters is closed, it is nighttime. There's probably nothing going to be available here. So in the propagation, though, so right now, let's go to 40 meters. I'll generate that. And so when it generates this propagation view, globe view, it is going to be centered on my location, my QTH. And you can see right there. So, and here's the color palette. And you can choose different color palettes if you don't like these, but so that's pretty nice. That's you can get that at any time that you'd like. Has worked before, so if you've got a call sign you punched in here, as you're talking or whatever, you can hit the work before, and you get the history on that guy. And of course, if you got an option to put notes in to where you can, talk about the conversation that you have, so that way next time that you might talk with him, you can refresh yourself on what you guys talked about before. So nice little feature. Here's the weather. Weather's not real elaborate. Usually the basic temperature, pressure, and wind. And that's really all I've seen so far. It might give you additional stuff, like if there are weather warnings out, perhaps it might give you additional stuff there as well. But anyway, it's pretty cool. You can go like to connect up here. CAT, you can show CAT interface, which is, oops, I'm sorry, that's not what I wanted to put. You can show CAT screen, which is essentially just this blown up. I don't know, it's just matching the radio. If I change on the radio, oops. Oh, I'm still in, I'm sorry, I've tried to change tuning here now. So there it is. So it's changing here as well. Okay. Let me cut that off. And so contest, I've, relatively new in the HF. I have not done contests. I actually listened to a contest. It was a sweepstakes, something going on this past weekend, which was, what was this, 16 and November 16th through the 17th, and so that was interesting. I'm not familiar with it, but the way that you have to make your call, essentially kind of like your CQ or whatever, it was interesting. And then the way that you have to respond, you just a you can't respond to a contester the way that you respond to just a generic QSO. And most of you guys probably obviously know that. I just started learning about it, so that was kind of interesting. But this thing is set up to do contests, which sounds like that's a big thing. Although it seems like most people use Logbook of the World for their contesting, or anyway. So it's pretty cool. A lot of stuff in here that's just it's available elsewhere, but here's just a menu item to where you can easily get to some things. So anyway, that's going to be about it. It works really well. If you haven't tried it, I recommend you try it. Hopefully you like it. You might not. I don't know. I think it's amazing. Works fantastic for me. And if you do like it, give the guy, shoot him make a little contribution to him, because he definitely put in a lot of effort to do this. And it's been out a long time, and I've looked back through the history of it. It's nothing super new or anything. So come back over here to the radio. Love the radio, man. I can't speak highly enough about this. I am not a ham expert by any means. I'm a newbie, but you're going to be. I tell you what, you're going to be hard pressed. And it's not just me saying it; it's listening to other people say this. The guys that been into this for a long time. You're going to be hard pressed to find a receiver that works as well as this. And is as quiet. So now it looks like we've got a lot of noise that's gone away here. Let's dump. Let's keep it up. Looks like it's still there. Let's try to hit this little station here. I don't know what that is. Looks like this guy might be broadcasting here. So he's a 5.5 to 5.7. Still got my DNR on. Oh, it's a broadcast.
Over the country of Ukraine and its next door neighbor Russia.
So still have my notch in, you can see, and I'll turn that off.
At about 5:00 a.m.
See, that just makes a huge difference. And there again, you've got to position it right. Go back on.
Launched an intercontinental ballistic
The clarity
against Ukraine.
is amazing. And I will
The initial reports came from Ukraine's Air Force,
move this around.
which reported that an ICBM had been fired from a base in Russia's southern Astrakhan region, which is on the Caspian Sea. The ICBM struck the city of Dnipro, Ukraine.
So that's very
And that launch
legible, very, very clear. And like I say, there's a lot of noise out there. You've seen that. So this is very, his transmission is very isolated and filtered out to where he is very clear, very legible. It sounds like FM broadcast. It's just amazing. And there again, if you look at the S meter right now, that is not his signal. I'm doing that with the RF gain. I've got it cooking up here until he goes away, and then I back it off to where I hear him enough. And that way I don't get into the noise, and if I want to I crank up the volume if I need to. So if I back it off to where I get to just his signal. So that's his signal. See it bobbing around there? Between 5.5 and 5.7.
Its fearsome RS-26 Frontier missile in
So let me
retaliation
back this off.
for Ukraine's
So when I turn the RF gain to where, I can just kind of hear him,
to attack Russia.
no noise in there, and I'll adjust the volume a little bit.
In
and it's just so crystal clear.
Pointed out that
So anyway, that is my FT-710, what I like about it. And then the log file for old men. Yep. If you haven't tried it, try it. Okay. Hope you enjoyed it. Take care.